Hello and very warm welcome to Decision 2019, a special program where Arise News brings you up-to-the-minute coverage of the general elections in Nigeria with context and perspective on the most important ballot issues. I am Christian Ogodan. Thanks for joining us. Coming up in the next 60 minutes, top-notch comments and analysis with unrivaled insight, hindsight and foresight into Decision 2019, including after a high court in Yola lifted its restriction on the Independent National Electoral Commission to conduct rerun election in Adamawa State. Reports have it that the supplementary election holding in 44 units or held in 44 units and 29 wards of 14 local government areas of the state. We'll get top-notch analysis on the whole electoral process. And later, as the All Progressive Congress adopts its members for leadership positions in the 9th National Assembly, it is insisting that no voting will be allowed for such position in the National Assembly. We'll get independent analysis as well, particularly from someone who, at the advent of democracy in Nigeria in 1999, was one of the pioneer reporters and editors that covered the National Assembly. And recall that before And also recall that before March 9th election was declared inconclusive, Ahmed Umar Fintiri, the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, had polled 367,471 votes, while the incumbent governor, Jibrila Bindo of the All Progressives Congress, had 334,995 votes. It meant Fintiri was leading with a margin of 32,476. However, ballots cancelled for various infractions amounted to 40,988, leaving INEC with no option but to schedule a rerun in the affected 44 polling units in 28 registration areas. So, as the people of Adamawa State troop out to finally decide who will be their next governor for the next 4 years, I'm sure polling would have closed by now, or it's better to say as collation is about to commence in those areas and in the state, who will be resounding drums of victory tilts to. Well, for more insight and analysis, I'm now being joined by Iyobosa Uwungiaren, who is the editor, Nation's Capital of these day newspapers. Hello, Iyobosa, and welcome.
Chris, it's nice to be here.
Yeah, it's your turf. I mean, talking about, okay, let's start with Adama. I wanted to start with the National Assembly and the leadership, positions, zonings in the coming 9th Assembly. But it's already been overshadowed by crises like we saw in 2015. Is this different from when, at the inception of this democracy in 1999, we both covered the National Assembly? What we're seeing now, is it far different from what, ensued then in 1999?
Yeah, maybe we should just give a synopsis of what happened in 1999, maybe up to 2015, and now 2019. You remember in 1999 when the PDP came to power under President Olusegun Obasanjo?
Absolutely.
So there was that the PDP won the majority. Majority of the members of the National Assembly, both at the Senate and the House
of Reps. Yeah.
So there was Obasanjo at that time, where the popular opinion of PDP members then was that they wanted late Chuba Kadigbo, to be their Senate president. But Obasanjo was not very comfortable with Kadigbo for obvious reasons, and at the end of the day, he forced Ewerem. I think he had a deal with the minority party then, AD. So at the end of the day, while the majority of the PDP lawmakers supported Kadigbo, a group of PDP members and all members of supporters, all members of AD,
AMPP and AD,
supported late Evans Ewerem. And at the end of the day, Evans Ewerem emerged as the Senate president. Of course, the crisis that followed was...
his tenure was short-lived for just 6 months.
So At the end of the day, Uwungiaren was impeached, and Kadigbo was installed as the Senate president by a majority of the PDP member. Of course, one thought that Okadigbo and Obasanjo were able to work together, but unfortunately, that was the beginning of the crisis of Okadigbo. Obasanjo
was never comfortable with Dr. Chuba Okadigbo.
So
yeah,
they whip up also so many things, including the controversial
contract of the lighting of the road to the National Assembly,
and there were huge media propaganda against him. Eventually, Okadigbo was removed, and what was his name now? The former secretary of the federal government, the man from Boeing,
Pius Ayim,
was eventually made the Senate president.
Yeah,
you know. Of course, the crisis was almost on. Eventually, past Ayim.
I think before Pius Ayim was this other president of the Senate who was removed shortly following the bribe for budget scandal in the Ministry of Education.
Yes, okay, Uwabara.
Uwabara, yes,
Uwabara was,
my people.
Uwabara was installed. Yeah. Then there was other alleged 50 million bribe from the Ministry of Education.
Absolutely.
He was kicked out.
We don't know so, how that case has gone now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure he won at the appeal court. I think he won that case at the appeal court. But you see, the truth of the matter is that in the summary of the whole thing is that any attempt for the executive arms of government to impose leadership at the National Assembly has always backfired.
Yeah, it fails.
It failed.
But why is that so? I mean, a party has majority, and they are not kowtowing, the party's own directives. Why?
You see, people talk about the supremacy of the party. Of the party. If you look at the way it was done during the Second Republic, the days of UPN and MPN, in all the elections, it was the party, that sponsored candidates. The party spent their money to sponsor candidates and all that. But in this era, it is not like that. Members of the House of Reps, senators are allowed to spend their money, spend billions of naira, to win elections. And at the end of the day, you want to dictate to him that he must tone the party's line. So it is always very difficult. And don't forget that these guys are not just these lawmakers are not just they are not just new in politics. Some of them are old. Some of them were former governor, former bank executive, former members of professionals. So they are not people you can easily dictate to and say do this, do this. So it's always very difficult to dictate to them. Like the way Oshomole is trying to do it now. You talk to them as if you are talking to your houseboy. It is not going to work.
And how legally correct is Oshomole to say that there isn't going to be voting in the National Assembly for the leadership position?
Well, he has no right. He has no right to do that. He
calls himself an honorary senator.
Well, he's not. He has never been a senator. He was 2 times governor of Edo State, so he has never been a senator. And apparently, he has no idea of how the National Assembly works. Because whether you like it or not, on the day of the National Assembly, Oshomole will not have a say. No members of the political parties, party leadership will have a say on the floor of the House.
Because it's the business of the clerk to call.
Yeah, exactly. What they can do, maybe because of their leadership position, they can invite them to come to the
gallery,
to the chambers.
Yeah,
I'm sure by resolution they will invite them to come to the chamber. But while the proceeding is on, the party national chairman or secretary or publicity secretary will not have a say. It is the clerk of the National Assembly that will preside over the sitting, and at the end of the day, members of the National Assembly, the senators, will be called to elect their leader. The only way this approach by the APC will succeed, is if there are no dissenting
voices within
in terms of aspiring to be the Senate president. If they're able to present...
But already, Iyobosa, there are dissenting voices because Senator Ndume is eyeing that seat. The same thing with Goje, the former governor in Gombe State.
Yeah. Yes, I've read this, especially Ndume. Goje has not publicly come out to say he wants to contest, except Ndume. From the politics that is on, that's already on, I doubt whether Ndume will be able to muster that courage, to go against the party position and the president position, because it is widely believed that Senator Lawan is being supported by the president and is being supported by the leadership of the party. And I doubt whether Uwungiaren will be able to muster that courage to say, oh, I want to contest against the party's choice. I doubt. Even though he has addressed a press conference, he has shown interest that is interested in the position. But I think in the past 24 or 48 hours, there is huge pressure on him, to step down. And Goje, for example, I personally spoke with him. He said he's still consulting whether to contest or not to contest. But of course, if you know the issue revolving around Goje, I doubt whether I'll be able to muster that courage to say you want to contest.
Are you isolating the fact that these were former PDP members and they still have their friends in there? I just want you to play back 2015 and saw the political intrigues and horse trading that went, even when APC had majority in the Senate and in the House of Representatives. Yeah, in 2015, what really happened was that, don't forget the role played by the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki. Absolutely. In the emergence of the President Buhari as President of Nigeria. Yeah. So, within the APC then, there was different forces. You have Basanjo, you have Buhari forces, you have Tinubu forces, and you have Saraki forces and all that. And think by the arrangement, Saraki believed that he contributed hugely to the emergence of the President Muhammadu Buhari, and that he needed to also be recognized, by so that the party can also support his aspiration. Of course, that was not didn't quite gel with. Lawan was the choice then at that time.
Yeah, it couldn't gel with Buhari and
the Tinubu, APC leadership.
Tinubu, fashion of the forces within the party, and. Saraki had no option than to, had to deal with the PDP. The People's Democratic Party. Don't forget that the PDP, the majority of the people, there were many senators from the PDP, and what Saraki did was to just get the support of about 14 or 13.
And horse trading and say, look, give me a deputy.
So at the end of the day, while they were still discussing in a hotel who should be the Senate president, election was not really going on. And at the end of the day, Saraki emerged. And also
in the House of Reps too.
And the same thing with the House of Reps. But this time
but don't you see it playing out? Let's look at the numbers of APC senators elect, for example. They say they are 55 or 65.
Yeah. Well,
but we know so far it's -3 from Zamfara now.
Yeah.
It's -1 from Delta State, Omo Agege, because the faction that brought Omo Agege to contest the election, the Pastor faction, was not recognized by the court. So it's the Cyril Ogodo's faction, which has Emero, that is now going to get that certificate. So that's -4 already. And don't forget in Imo State, -1 Okorocha. So they don't have 5, they have 60.
For the man from Delta State has been given a certificate of return. The same thing with Zamfara. They'll be given certificate of return. So in other words, until the Superior Court decide otherwise, they will be eligible to vote.
To resume and vote.
To vote at the National Assembly. So they are still members of the APC that will decide the leadership of the Senate on May 29. Yeah. If I'm correct. Yeah. But that's notwithstanding, the same thing, the scenario that played out in 2015. Is different from the scenario that you are having now. I know very well that Saraki was all out, to go against the party position, and at the end of the day, in spite of the party position, he insisted he was going to contest, and he did, and he won the election. But what is playing out now? My position is that from the body language of Uwungiaren and Goje, I doubt whether they will muster the courage.
The political, not courage here now. Would they have the support like Saraki had, strike a deal with the PDP and, the
PDP, it's not a matter of whether they will have the followers, the support. Of course, PDP will be ready to have a deal with any of them if they muster courage to contest.
Yeah.
But whether they will be able to muster that courage to say, oh, I'm interested.
And damn the party.
And damn the parties. That's position. Because otherwise, at the end of the day, APC will present a sole candidate for the position, and that is Senator Lawan. And when that's happened, and all the APC members will definitely vote for the party's choice.
But it's a secret ballot vote.
Well,
it's not voice vote.
It's not voice vote. But, but my position is that once they present a single candidate for the position, of course, APC will win.
You don't think you would have some black sheep in the APC?
I doubt.
Okay, well, let's just
from my reading of the whole thing, and I've also spoken with some of these people who
some of the senators,
senators who are aspiring and all that. But the PDP is waiting for any opportunity for them to
pounce on
exactly and
change
the narrative.
Yeah. Okay, let's just listen again to the National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Iyobosa Uwungiaren, when he briefed, the media about the stance of the APC on the National Assembly leadership. Let's watch this.
The party, in its own judgment, believe we would not only zone, we will go as far as identifying who from a particular zone is fit and proper as the Senate President. And you should know that from every zone of this country, we have ranking members in the National Assembly who are all qualified, eminently qualified to be Senate President. But there's only one vacancy to be filled. You can't have two Senate Presidents. So in this case, considering other factors, the party, and when I say the party, I'm not just referring to NWC, because there was a wide consultation across the country, the party leaders, governors, and Mr. President. So this is not just something coming from the chairman, Adam Oshiomhole, or NWC. It's the position of the ruling party. So the idea of taking the thing to the zone is an option, which we have also considered before now arriving at a particular individual from the Northeast. It was only after we have zoned that position to the Northeast.
Yeah, Iyobosa, you heard the National Publicity Secretary there. They are very emphatic, saying, look, it's like a law. And it's like APC, they're sounding really tough. Break the rules or go against the party, you're going to be chalked out.
They are not sounding like a progressive party. They
are just supposed to be.
They
are being authoritative.
Exactly. This is democracy. You can't deny people who are qualified
the right
to want to aspire to any position. These are adults. These are well-known politicians. Now, what the party needed to do was to zone the position to a particular zone and allowed every senator from that zone who are qualified to contest to be. I don't think there is no APC senator that cannot work harmoniously with the executive arms of government. Is it Dume? Is it Undume? Is it Goje? These are close ally of President Muhammadu Buhari. So even if they are allowed to contest and they win, and any of them win that position, they can easily work harmoniously with the executive arms of government. But it appears that maybe in view of what happened in the 2015, the not too good relationship between the executive and the legislative arms of government under the leadership of
it's still reverberating.
It's still haunting them, and this time around they don't want to take chances. I think the party is very comfortable with Senator Lawan. Whether, if eventually imposed, whether it will go on very well with members of the Senate is a different thing entirely.
Yeah, but how true was the statement, the statement being credited to Senator Lawan, that if he becomes president of the Senate and he will in fact amend the constitution to allow President Muhammadu Buhari to run.
No, I don't think that statement is correct. They've since
refuted
the story, and the spokesman for his campaign issued a statement yesterday and said that there was never a time Senator Lawan made such statement. So in other words, I'm sure it's fake news, and people don't actually believe that. You see, my position is that Senate has always assert its own independence.
Authority, yes. Now, often exhibited
right from the days of Okadigbo,
Pius Ayim, then we had
and Senator Nnamani.
Ken Nnamani.
So they always assert their independence.
Yeah.
So if you have a leadership, if you have a leadership of Senate that is
weak,
that want to act as a rubber stamp to the executive arms of government, I can bet you that that leader
it won't last.
Will not last.
It will not last
because once they are inaugurated, they don't look at issues
from a parochial
point of
it's
view.
National.
It's national.
Holistic.
You know, it's holistic. So if they have a leader that is not ready to carry everybody along in terms of trying to assert his independence and really do their job as lawmakers, as lawmakers who have oversight functions on the executive arms of government. If you have a Senate president that's not ready to toe that line, I can bet you that Senate president will not last.
Absolutely.
And I hope if Senator Lawan is eventually elected, he will learn a lesson from what happened in the past.
Yeah, because even the APC is still blowing hot that, look, besides the leadership position, you know, in the two chambers, chairmanship position too of committees is going to be limited to APC members.
No, Chris, let me tell you something. You and I know very well. We've covered that National Assembly. Absolutely. It is not going to work. You see why
it has never worked.
You know why it will not work?
Yeah.
APC has no overwhelming majority. What they have is simple majority.
Yes.
You know, you don't have 1/3.
No.
There are decisions you will require 1/3.
Yes.
You know,
2/3.
I mean, 2/3 vote to be able to skate through.
And you will need the opposition.
You will need the opposition. At that time, they will remind you that we're not members of the, we're not chairmen of committee. So I think Oshomole and the party leadership are not aware of this. Because there are certain decisions that
they have to read the rules of both chambers.
Yes, in passing the budget, you need to vote to be able to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when the PDP will remind you that we are not chairman of
any of the committee, except the one that is the public accounts committee.
So let's see how you pass the budget. So there are so many decisions like that that will require the support of the PDP
of the opposition.
So I'm sure the Senate, once the Senate president emerge, the view of the national party, the national chairman of the party, will be immaterial, because the Senate president it will occur to him that he needs the support of the opposition to be able to function effectively as Senate president. Yeah. The same thing with the House of Reps.
Representatives.
APC has they don't have overwhelming majorities.
No,
they just have a
simple majority.
So
simple majority.
It will be very difficult for them to work harmoniously in that Senate without the support of
without
the PDP.
Carrying PDP along.
And looking at the members of the PDP who are virtually all experienced lawmakers, no, they will make that place ungovernable.
Very experienced
for APC leadership if they don't take time. So what Oshomole is saying is, as far as concerned, is just grandstanding. It will not work.
But I don't know. Is that how to, play politics? Is that how to show political leadership and direction when you have an arm of government that constitutionally is independent?
Yeah, you see that is a problem with Nigerian politics. The legislative arms of government is a different arms of government. They should have, and that's why they are called the president of the Senate. Yeah. Just like Buhari, where that one is the president of Nigeria. But this is the president of the Senate. Just they also have a CJN, who is the head of the judiciary arms of government. So, and there's a separation of power, So, but what we see in Nigeria, every 4 years, the executive arms of government want to determine who should be the leaders of the legislature. Arms of government. It is unknown to democratic norms and values. Where we are practicing presidential system of government, and there's always that overbearing from the executive arms of government.
Because they control virtually the whole resources.
Especially if when you have an executive president with an enormous power and responsibilities,
like we have in Nigeria,
just like what we have in Nigeria. But there's a limitation to overbearing from the executive. We have seen that in the past. Unless you do that, carefully, it will always backfire.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Now let's look. We're looking at the leadership generally of the National Assembly. How about the deputy position, deputy president of the Senate, which is abbreviated as DSP, and that of the deputy speaker? Already a first timer is angling for that position. I mean, Ojikalu, former governor of two-time governor of Abia State, as would the The party has not said anything about that. They've not come out or come up with a choice. They've not even talked about zoning it to the southeast. And we know the southeast, well, traditionally, they're like Republicans, don't vote for the APC. What chance does it have there?
Well, there's solely, but the Constitution says once you are a member of a particular chamber, you are qualified to aspire to any position.
But they have rules.
But, yes, exactly. That's where I'm coming to. They have rules. We say that before you can contest for leadership position, you must be a ranking senator. You know, but within the rules, there are different layers of ranking.
Absolutely.
Don't forget that Iyobosa Uwungiaren was a member of House of Reps briefly during the Buhari. During the General Ibrahim Babangida's regime.
So that would just make him a ranking.
So he was a member of House of Reps briefly before that government was truncated by the Abacha-led military junta.
Yeah.
You know, but so he sees himself as a
ranking member of the national,
within the National Assembly.
Yeah.
So whether you are from the Senate, you are from the House of Reps, you are seen as a ranking members of that chamber.
Yeah.
Because the first one you have a ranking, the first ranking, that's a ranking members of the Senate. That means you must be a two-time members of the Senate
at the minimum.
But if you don't have that kind of level of ranking, if you
also come from House of Reps,
from the House of Reps to the Senate, you're also a ranking lawmaker.
Yeah.
So Iyobosa Uwungiaren, by virtue of his elections in 1992, and he was in the House of Reps for about 2 or 3 months. So he sees himself as a ranking lawmaker. So by going by the rule, I think is qualified to contest that position.
Okay.
But whether the party will zone the position to the southeast is a different thing entirely. But my position is that position should either be zoned to the south or southeast. For example, let me give you the analysis. Now you already have the president of Nigeria
coming from the northwest.
Then you already have a Senate president that is being zoned to the northeast.
Yeah.
Now you already have the vice president coming from the southwest.
Southwest. Yeah.
Southwest. So what is
and the speaker is again being zoned to the southwest.
To the southwest, where
the speaker should have been zoned to the southeast.
Exactly.
I mean that's the traditional once the North Central produces the president of the Senate.
Yeah.
You know.
So that is a narrative. Now, if the only zone that is left out now, for example, is the south. I mean, is the south and the south.
Oh no, but you don't. Do you expect anything to be given to the south? They didn't vote for the APC there.
They are not. So it is not mandatory that they must vote for the APC.
But that is their thinking as it is on the table.
Whether they vote for you or not, you cannot deliberately
isolate them
when you form a government. If you do that, then you are inviting trouble. That's exactly what Buhari did in 2015 when he said that those who give them 95% will not be treated at the same time people who give them 5%. And you saw the backlash of that thing.
Yeah.
And there was, I can talk to you, I can speak authoritatively that Nigeria has never been divided as of today along religious and ethnic line. It was because of that policy of the president, that those who gave him 95% would not be treated
equally with those who gave him 1%.
But I think this time around, there's near consensus among all stakeholders in Nigerian politics that all parts of the country should be carried along. And it's reassuring that the president is already talking along that line.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the National Assembly cannot also ignore that. Whether the particular zone vote for you, a particular party or not, is immaterial. Once you get to the office, you are now
the father of all.
A National Assembly that represents the general interest of every Nigerian.
Absolutely.
And just like the president, who is now the president of Nigeria, he's not looking at the president of the APC, he's now the president of Nigeria.
Right.
So all zones should be treated equally. Everybody should have a sense of belonging in the government of this country. So if you deliberately, saline a particular zones, of course, it will backfire. So I hope this time around the south side and the southeast will be treated equally like every other part of the country. Whether they voted for APC or not is immaterial.
Yeah, there must be that sense of belonging, to all Nigerians, you know, so that they are carried along. Yeah. Okay, we'll be going on a short break, and when we return, we'll be looking at the outcome of the Adamawa Supplementary elections. I know we have a correspondent on ground there. He's been feeding us with some of the results as they trickle in from the polling units, and how the two main parties, the ruling APC in Adamawa State and the opposition PDP party, they are faring there. So you're watching Decision 2019. Plenty more still ahead, including the outcome of the Adamawa Supplementary elections. Stay with us.